Yo, what's up guys, it's been a while, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was born half nine-tailed, part 1, hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start please subscribe to our channel and like this video. And, thank you guys for your support and love, so let's get into the video. A peaceful night within Konoha, the village hidden in the leaves, everyone was enjoying a nice meal with their families, a drink with their friends or company with their loved ones. And in one cave near the village itself, Kushina, just a little more. I can see its head. A retired medical ninja that worked in Konoha's hospital as a full-time doctor said. Kushina Uzumaki, the woman being talked to, was giving birth, but she was not in the hospital because in her situation it was a special case. She was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. Only Uzumaki had the physical strength to hold the nine-tailed fox spirit down, but it was mostly limited to females. When giving birth, the Jinchuriki's seal would weaken and the beast could have the chance to break loose. But not this time. Come on Kushina. I know you can do it. A blond man wearing a standard Konoha shinobi blue jumpsuit said, holding his hand on her belly where the seal was. I'm here with you. Just concentrate on Naruto. I'll deal with the nine tails. Kushina's screaming continued for a few minutes, and once the child was born it all calmed down for a few seconds. He's a healthy boy. The woman said. I did it, Kushina said, panting, exhausted from the labor. I'm a father. You did it Kushina. The blond man said to Kushina with tears of joy in his eyes. Don't overjoy yourselves, a voice echoed in the cave, and then all the medics in charge of this birthing were killed one way or another, and the child taken by a man in a dark black cloak wearing a mask. Who are you? The blond man said, instantly ready for anything. This man was obviously not a good sign of anything. Calm yourself. I'm only here for the nine tails. Hand it over or this baby will die before living for even a minute. The man said, holding a kunai towards the baby. The blond man and Kushina stood motionless, not knowing exactly how far this man was willing to go with the threat. The man threw the baby upwards and thrust his knifed hand at him. The blond man suddenly appeared and saved the child. Too late. The cloaked man said, and then there was a bright light coming from the blanket covering the child, a paper bomb tag. Brat, the blond man said, and then the bomb exploded. Minato. Naruto. Kushina yelled in hysteria. Elsewhere Namika's household. The blond man, called Minato Namika's, appeared in the middle of the room. Sorry Kushina, hold on. I'm on my way. Minato said and placed the infant in his arms on a bed. Wait here Naruto. I'll go bring your mother. Minato finished and after covering the infant he vanished. Elsewhere the cave, Kushina was chained to prevent her escape. Her belly and the seal in full view and the cloaked man approached her. Now, time to obtain what I came here to get. The cloaked man said and a red liquid started sprouting out from Kushina's belly. The weird liquid started sprouting from all of Kushina's body and then splitting away from her. The liquid started slowly taking a shape, the shape of a fox with nine tails, and going on a rampage. Now, nine-tailed fox. Obey my every command. The cloaked man said, and the fox's eyes changed from a feral beast's lit eye to a normal-like red eye, with 3 tomo surrounding the pupil, and suddenly stopped from its rampage. Kushina. Minato appeared in front of her and held onto her and then vanished again. I guess he isn't known as the yellow flash for nothing, the man said, and then turned around towards the direction of the exit and the general direction of Konoha. But it does not matter. I already have what I wanted. Elsewhere back in the Namika's household, Minato and Kushina appeared in the middle of the room much like last time. Minato, where is Naruto? Kushina asked, even more exhausted since Kyuubi was separated from her. He's fine, see? Minato said and helped her to the bed where Naruto was. Naruto, Kushina said while lightly hugging her baby. Tears rolled down her eyes from the happiness of him being born, relieving he was okay, and rage towards the mysterious masked man who threatened his life. I have to go. Minato said and put on a white coat with a flame pattern on the bottom and on the back, written in red kanji, the words Yondaime Hokage. Please be careful. Kushina said. I'll be back. Minato said and vanished. Elsewhere within the village, people still walked around the village happy with their night. Except for one man. The cloaked man stood in the middle of an open area and then made a hand sign followed by him touching the ground. A summoning jutsu. Oh, nine tails. The man said and the Kyuubi appeared in the middle of the village. Everyone in the village broke into chaos at the sight of the beast. And made a run for it. Hokage Tower, Lord 3rd. The nine tails and Anbu high-level ninja started. I know. An elderly man said, tightening the grip of his gauntlet, getting ready for battle. You and the rest of your men will assist me. We must suppress the nine tails until Minato can make it. Right. The Anbu said and vanished. What are you going to do, Hiruzen? A similarly elderly man with bandages over the right side of his face said. Danzo, we must evacuate the civilians and suppress the nine tails. The man called Hiruzen replied. And you're going to use the Uchiha for this fight? Danzo said. What is the problem? Out with it Danzo, we're in a hurry. Hiruzen said. The Uchiha can control a Biju, especially the Nine Tails with their Sharingan. They could use this chance to take control of it and use it to their advantage. Danzo said. Advantage for what? Hiruzen asked. Everyone holds darkness, the Uchiha are no exception Danzo said and just looked at Hiruzen. Fine. You can command my men as you see fit. Hiruzen said and left the room. Another Anbu cloaked in a black trench coat appeared behind Danzo. Lord Danzo. The Anbu said. Command all Uchiha to evacuate civilians and stay down. None of them are to get close to the Nine Tails. Danzo said. Anbu didn't say anything and just left the room. Streets, everyone stay calm. Follow this route. A man with jet black hair called to a group of civilians. Captain Fugaku. What should we do? Another man said. The man called Fugaku. Full name Fugaku Uchiha and head of the Uchiha clan as well of the Uchiha police unit. We follow orders to evacuate everyone to safety. Fugaku said and everyone continued their actions. Though in reality, all Fugaku wanted to do was help. Help the fight to protect the village. Fugaku bit his lip and nearly caused himself to bleed in an attempt to fight back the urge to abandon orders. Okage Monument Mountain. Minato appeared on the tip of his sculpted head's hair. And saw as the Kyuubi wreaked chaos in the village. Kyuubi turned in the direction of Minato. So you finally took notice of me? Minato said, and the Kyuubi started gathering a ball of black, purple, and red energy and shot it towards Minato. Minato held one of his trademark kunai in front of himself and then some sort of portal opened and absorbed the ball of energy. The ball of energy appeared a few miles north of the village and exploded. Such strength. It is a hazard to let you run wild. Minato said and then he felt something behind him. He attacked said presence, it was the masked man. Minato's attack went right through the masked man's head as if he wasn't there. The man grabbed Minato's arms and suddenly started swallowing Minato into his eye. Minato figured it wasn't a good thing to get caught by this attack and vanished from danger. So fast the masked man said and then he vanished too. Darn, just a second later and I'd be done Minato said. You can't escape so easily. The masked man's voice came and then he appeared in front of Minato. Darn it. I have to deal with this guy, but there is also the village being attacked by the Nine Tails. What should I do? Minato took a second to think about it and then built his resolve. I'll just have to trust Lord Third and the rest to deal with the Nine Tails. Minato and the masked man stood there ready to face off against each other. The masked man appeared with a set of chains that looked more like a long set of handcuffs. I have to deal with this guy first Minato said and held his kunai ready for battle and stuck another one in front of himself. Finally decided to fight huh? The man said and rushed Minato. They ran onto each other and then Minato ran through him and got wrapped in the chains and the masked man attempted to absorb him again. Minato teleported to the kunai on the ground and then kicked the man away. He has to become soul to absorb me. So the best tactic is for me to go for a counter-attack. Minato said and then the two rushed each other again. While running Minato charged a small ball of chakra on his right hand and threw his kunai at the man. The kunai went right through the man and the man tried grabbing Minato again. At very last second Minato vanished appeared right on top of the kunai, caught the kunai and thrust the chakra ball to the man's back. Duration level 2 Minato said and then the man vanished. You may win this time, but my goal is complete. The stage is set so I'll be back. The man's voice echoed from all around. What was his goal anyway? Whatever, I must hurry back to the village. Minato said and vanished. Kyuubi was barely being suppressed by the Leaf Shinobi and the third Hokage. Lord Third. Casualties have already reached over 200. Anbu informed me. Just a little longer everyone. We must keep our ground. Hiruzen said. The Kyuubi once again started gathering the energy ball and it was aimed at Hiruzen and the rest of the village. This is bad Hiruzen said. Out of nowhere a gigantic toad appeared and held Kyuubi down. The giant toad. A shinobi said. Is Lord Fourth. Another man said. Amabunta. Hold him down for a few seconds. Minato called. Easier said than done. Just hurry it up. The toad replied. Minato jumped down from the toad's head and right before reaching the Kyuubi, he activated the Hiraishin no Jutsu to transport himself and the fox as well as the energy ball away from everyone. Where did they go? Hiruzen said. There was an explosion near the walls of the village. Over there. Everyone move. We must help Minato any way we can Hiruzen called. Elsewhere civilian evacuation in trance. Fugaku saw the explosion. That was in the direction of Minato, Fugaku said and clenched both his fist and teeth. Fugaku decided to ignore orders and go help. Captain Fugaku. One of the other Uchiha called. Keep everyone safe. Fugaku called and picked up his speed as fast as he could. Elsewhere, Minato only had one place to teleport to Kyuubi, his own home, and a bit less than a minute before the energy ball would burst and maybe kill Kushina, Naruto, and himself. Minato instantly grabbed Kushina and Naruto and teleported into nothingness, avoiding the explosion. Having nowhere else to teleport, he appeared on the same spot and just managed to avoid the explosion. "Sorry Kushina. I had to bring him here." Minato apologized. "It's okay," Kushina said. The Kyuubi spotted Kushina and attempted an attack. "Minato." Kushina. Fugaku yelled and activated his Sharingan. "Fugaku? What are you doing here?" Minato asked. "I saw the explosion of the Nine Tails attack," Fugaku said and stopped the Kyuubi's attack. "Hurry, the Sharingan won't hold the Nine Tails for long," Fugaku said in hopes of evacuating Minato, Kushina, and their child. "No Fugaku," Kushina started. "The Nine Tails has to be sealed. If we just let it run free, it could destroy the whole village." "Kushina? What are you trying to say?" Minato said. "Kushina?" Fugaku also said, and then he noticed his control on the Kyuubi was getting weak. "Watch out." Fugaku yelled, and then chains appeared and held the Kyuubi down, as well as built something like a dome around them, making sure it wouldn't escape. "This is," Fugaku said. The chains came from Kushina's back. It was her specialty, chains of light that suppressed the enemy and also stopped their chakra from working properly. "There are only a few things I can do now. The Nine Tails extraction right after birthing Naruto weakened me too much. I can only do this much now," Kushina said and slowly formed a few hand signs that appeared on a pedestal. "That's the eight-pronged seal." "Kushina, what are you planning?" Minato started. "The Nine Tails is better contained within someone of Uzumaki blood. My life is coming to an end, so, as much as it pains me, Naruto is the next option," Kushina said and started crying. "Kushina, no. You don't have to do that," Fugaku said. "Besides, I won't let you do that. You know the pains of being a Jinchuriki better than anyone." "Why Naruto?" Minato started. "Because he is the last Uzumaki," Kushina said, pain and determination in her voice. Minato gulped. It was true, the Uzumaki had gone extinct. They were murdered and kidnapped to later be killed one way or another. Naruto was most likely the only person with Uzumaki blood in the whole shinobi world. "I still won't let you do what," Minato started and tried to stop Kushina's hand sign weaving, but he was wrapped in chains just like the Kyuubi. "Kushina, stop this please. You don't have to." "But I do, Minato. I'm sorry, but I do have to do this," Kushina said and then turned her face to show she was crying and had an expression that clearly showed she didn't want to do this. Minato understood just what was going through Kushina's mind. "I understand then. But Kushina, I won't let Naruto go through that pain alone. Having all of the Nine Tails inside himself would be too much for him. He is just a baby. Seal half of it in me and we'll both live with this burden," Minato suggested. Kushina's expression changed from one of intense sadness to shock. She had never even thought about this. "Thank you, please raise Naruto properly," Kushina said and finished the hand signs and placed one hand over Naruto and the other on Minato. "Eight-pronged seal set," Kushina said, and right after she keeled over and died. Minato passed out from exhaustion from obtaining the Kyuubi and Naruto also fell asleep. Fugaku, with nothing but what he had just witnessed, retrieved both blondes back to the village and into safety. When back to safety, all Fugaku could do was explain to the Sandaime Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen about what happened. Danzo immediately showed a face of discomfort, seeing as Fugaku had disobeyed direct orders and even saved Minato and his child, even if Kushina had to be sacrificed. Sarutobi ordered his Anbu to immediately take Minato and his son, Naruto, to Konoha's hospital and get treatment right away. Both father and child turned out to be okay and safe from any kind of danger. A couple weeks after Minato was discharged from the hospital along with his son, and both moved into an apartment within the Hokage Tower while his house was rebuilt. In the meantime, Minato had to go back to work instantly, and the first thing he did was call Fugaku into his office. "Did you call Millard?" Fugaku asked and took the traditional stance for respect of a higher authority. "Don't need to be so formal with me, Fugaku," Minato called. "There is something I've been meaning to talk to you since actually the day you were named the chief of police." "What is it?" Fugaku asked, slightly confused. "Fugaku, how do you feel about the police?" Minato asked. "Excuse me?" Fugaku asked, not understanding the question. "Well, it is obvious that there is a need for law enforcement and so a police unit is highly needed. And I also understand that now it is more of a tradition for the Uchiha to become members of the police force, but tell me, Fugaku, how do you feel about the Uchiha police force?" Minato explained his question. "To be completely honest with you, since soon after I joined the police force I felt it wasn't right. Sure, we may be a group that keeps chaos from breaking within the village, but it also gives us all the hatred of the villagers. To be honest, I don't understand why Lord Second would create the Uchiha police force." Fugaku answered the question. "I knew it," Minato replied as he folded his eyes shut and faced the window of his office. "Fugaku, what would you say if I was to disband the Uchiha police force and replace it with a selected Anbu? Are you serious?" Fugaku asked, shocked at what Minato had said. Fugaku, to be a leader you must be able to think as your enemy would, and the same applies for trying to understand your peers. Since we were young I could tell you didn't like the Uchiha police force, and one of the many things I've been meaning to do was disband that group and free the Uchiha from such a burden. Minato said, and finally opened his eyes. What do you say? Fugaku stayed silent, he didn't know how to react to this. Over 50 years of tradition would be destroyed with just this one choice. And it was his choice whether he continued to feel the strong pain of receiving no respect from those he protected or free his whole clan from working in a job they most likely didn't want to do and maybe even be allowed to retire or rejoin the standard shinobi units. Sounds good to me. Fugaku finally spoke with an honest smile on his face, one not often seen by many. Many of my men don't really enjoy the police work anyway, I'm sure they'd be glad to finally drop that part of their lives. In that case, I have another question. Minato started and turned his face towards Fugaku. Fugaku, I've been thinking that I need a right-hand man in case something happens to me. Let's say that for example I had died during this last attack. I'm sure Lord Third would have taken office again until they found a replacement, but if I had a right-hand man he could take office in my stead. Fugaku, it'd be my honor if you accepted the position. Minato finished and bowed his head respectfully. Millard, please raise your head. I'm unworthy of such trust. Fugaku started and quickly straightened Minato's standing position. If you think I'm fit for the position then I'd be more than honored to accept. Soon after the Uchiha police was replaced with Anbu, the tension surrounding the Uchiha members lightened and now the villagers were feeling more comfortable with their Uchiha peers. Fugaku and Mikoto helped Minato with Naruto's upbringing and soon enough he and Sasuke, Fugaku's second son, became good friends. It has been roughly 8 years since that day. Minato and Naruto are living a happy life back in the Namikaze household. And even though Naruto and everyone knows who his father is he still asks on a daily basis, "Hey dad, how come your last name is Namikaze yet I'm named Uzumaki?" Naruto asked. Well Naruto, as I've always said. The Uzumaki were an amazing clan of warriors. Among them one eternally beautiful woman made her way to this village. That woman was your mother. She was amazing, strong, beautiful, funny Minato said. What about smart? Naruto asked. Even though she had her weaknesses not to say she wasn't, but she jumped into action more often than thinking of her first move anyway, as you know. Your mother died the day you were born. She protected the village like a true leaf shinobi, but above all, she protected you. The Uzumaki had been wiped out when your mother was a teenager, and so to keep the Uzumaki's name alive, we decided that we would name our first child Uzumaki, as well as every other child after that. Though that can't happen anymore, Minato finished and looked slightly sad by the thought. Anyway, back to happy thoughts. How have you been lately? I know you hang out with Sasuke every day and you two go to the park and play with Shikaku and Chose's kids among others. Oh, yeah, we all promised to practice shuriken throwing today. I gotta go dad. Naruto yelled and ran out of the front door. Naruto, along with all of his friends, had just joined the Shinobi Academy. Minato was a little hesitant at first, since becoming a ninja would be risking his life, but he knew that being the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki, he couldn't afford to leave Naruto untrained for self-defense at the least. Sure is full of energy. Like his mother wouldn't you say? Minato said. Sure, a voice came from a nearby window, and then a man came into view. This man was dressed in Anbu armor and had a dog mask. His hair was spiked slightly to the side and was silver although not from age. So, what do you have to tell me, Kakashi? Minato asked, finishing his breakfast and picking up his Hokage cloak. Just the usual, Kakashi said, sounding very unconvincing. What's the matter with Kakashi? Minato asked and turned to the man. Sensei, there's actually something more important, but this Kakashi started and Minato raised a hand letting him know he understood. Let us go to Kakashi. There's plenty of paperwork I still have to finish. We can talk later. Minato said, giving a message that they would continue the conversation in his office. Soon after Minato made it to his office he locked the door and then placed a sound barrier to keep anyone from listening in on anything in the office. Alright, Kakashi. What is it? Minato said, turning into a more serious tone of voice. This involves Itachi. He told me to let you know of this. Kakashi said. Itachi? What's the matter? Minato asked, concerned for Fugaku's eldest son. The young Uchiha had shown amazing potential at the simple age of 7. Now at the age of 16 he was the third in command in Kakashi's Anbu unit. In fact, Itachi showed the potential to become an outstanding Hokage at the early age of 10. Itachi had originally been a part of Root and due to his admiration for Konoha, he volunteered to be the Hokage's eyes within Root. Kakashi was his way of transferring the information to Minato. It seems the Danzo has ordered something from Itachi. Kakashi started. Something that is hardly practical. What would this be? Minato asked. It seems Danzo has ordered Itachi to eliminate all Uchiha. His reasoning seems to be that within the Uchiha there are many sleeper agents and the sort that are just waiting for the right moment to strike. Since they can't pinpoint who exactly he said to eliminate everyone. Kakashi said, "What? What about Fugaku, does he know about this?" Minato asked. "I don't think so." Kakashi replied. "Inform him immediately. And call Itachi here at once." Minato commanded. "Right." Kakashi said and vanished. Minato stayed silent for a couple seconds and then a younger Anbu showed up. This one had long black hair and wore a weasel mask. Minato reset the sound barrier and then they began talking. "Did you call Millard?" The Anbu said. "Kakashi just informed me of Danzo's mission." "Itachi, you can't possibly do it." Minato said. "I'm afraid he'll do something if I don't, specifically something to Sasuke. He agreed to not touch Sasuke so long as I did this." Itachi replied. "I understand what you're saying. If you were to do it, you'd do it to protect your brother. That is admirable, but you don't have to worry. I hereby nullify this mission. It is simply inhumane, even if there was some sort of spy within the Uchiha, he would get spotted." Minato said. "Thank you sir," Itachi said, and there was a teardrop coming from under the mask. "Itachi, go back home. Take the rest of the day off. Talk with your father about this. The two of you can relax. I'll see to it that Danzo stops this mission from becoming official even to his ninja." Minato said. "Thank you," Itachi said, and then he vanished like Kakashi did earlier. Minato succeeded in stopping the massacre of the entire Uchiha clan. But he didn't stop Danzo from whatever crooked plans he had. That does it. Even if I have to do this myself, I'll get my hands on the Sharingan. A few weeks passed and Minato was sitting in his office looking at paperwork. Among the many sheets of paper, a single paper stood alone, secluded from all the others. Minato finally reached for it and started reading it for the 100th time. "No matter how I look at it, it's not just a mission." Minato got up from his desk and started pacing back and forth behind his desk. This mission was top secret. Only the Hokage and the person that was to take this mission were to know of it. The dangers were far beyond any mission ever released, as far as his knowledge went. And if the person taking this mission was to decline taking the mission after hearing the information for it, they were to get their mind wiped from the mission's information. I can only trust him or someone among his men, but they're currently out of the village. Minato finished walking and came to a sudden stop. He began a set of hand signs and then tapped the ground, which made a small frog appear in front of him. "Yo. What's up, Minato?" The frog said, saluting his summoner. "I need you to send a message to someone." Minato said. "Who is it?" "I'll take your message quickly and efficiently." The frog said. "Kakashi Haddock. He's currently out of the village and so I need you to find him and give this message to him." Minato said and handed a scroll to the frog. "You got it. I'll see you around." The frog finished and vanished into a smoke cloud. At the same time, Kakashi and his men were resting near the border to No Kuni. Everyone was polishing their weapons and maintaining their equipment. Kakashi then raised his head. "What's the matter with Senpai?" Yugao, one of the few women in his team, asked. "I'll be right back," Kakashi said and got up from his spot and walked away from the group. After a couple minutes he came to a stop. "Can I help you with something?" "Sharp, as ever. In fact, I am thankful that only you noticed me." A voice came and then the frog that had been in Minato's office emerged from a bush. "I have a message from Minato." Kakashi received the scroll and quickly read the contents in it. "Do you know what's written here?" Kakashi asked the frog. "I'm a messenger, unless the message is to me I don't peek my nose on anything." The frog said, "In any case, I'll be leaving now." Kakashi closed his eyes for a second and then he made his way back to his team. "Denzo, Yugao, Itachi. Follow me," Kakashi said and led the three away from the rest of the group. Once everyone was out of ear or eyeshot, Kakashi started speaking. "Minato-sensei has something to talk to us about. Only one of us, of course. He said it was about a mission and that only the one taking the mission should know about it." "What kind of mission is it?" Tenzo, a man with a pale face and wide eyes, asked. "Considering the small bit of information he gave me on the message, I believe it might be something extremely dangerous. And something he'd rather not involve a clan head with. Then he wants us to choose who takes the mission." Yugao asked. "I'll read his message." Kakashi started and reopened the scroll. "Kakashi, I'll be brief about this so as to not take up too much of your time. I have a new mission and I need a ninja qualified for it. Amongst all the ninja in the village, those in your unit are the most qualified for this. This mission will be too dangerous and I don't want just anyone taking it. The person to take this has to volunteer for it, since I also don't want to force anyone on it. I leave the choice for the candidates up to you." Kakashi read and then put the scroll away in his shuriken pouch. "I see," Itachi said. "What's the matter?" Tenzo asked the young Uchiha. "I'll take the mission," Itachi said with determination in his face. "What?" Tenzo asked, confused. "We haven't even started discussing what this could be about or how dangerous this could be." I also don't think you're the most qualified among the four of us. Yuga said yeah. You're a young man with the ability to use the Sharingan. But I don't think you have the years of experience just yet for a possible suicide mission. Itachi Kakashi started and looked at Itachi's eyes. Itachi's eyes showed an empty void surrounded in darkness, but deep within the void Kakashi could see a small glimmer of light. Why do you want this mission? Kakashi finally asked, making everyone go silent. You see, Itachi started. 3 days passed, and Kakashi and his men were now just relaxing, but within Konoha something grim was about to happen. Are the preparations ready? Danzo asked. Yes, sir. We're just awaiting your orders. A cloaked Anbu replied while keeping his head down. Perfect, move out and wait for just the right moment. Danzo said, and then the Anbu vanished. Mikano Shrine. Originally, the place was most sacred to the Uchiha clan, but it was also in which they kept their secret plans for a coup d'etat. Long since those plans had been abandoned. Now, the Nakano Shrine was the most known and most trusted shrine among young and old for all sorts of miracles. Fugaku and his wife, being the heads of the clan, were in charge of cleaning the shrine and maintaining the place as well. Good evening, Lord Fugaku. A young Uchiha man called out to him as he passed by. Evening. Fugaku replied and continued to gather the leaves that the surrounding trees had dropped. More people started gathering, and before long, Lord Fugaku, watch out. The young man from earlier yelled and got in front of Fugaku. The man then fell to the ground. Fugaku turned to see many kunai and shuriken was stuck in the man's chest. Shinobi started appearing surrounding everyone in Nakano Shrine and everyone in it. What do you all want? Fugaku called, trying to get an answer out of these men. None of them replied, but instead they attacked. Each person within the premises of the shrine fell to the ground dead, Uchiha or not. Fugaku and Mikoto were the last two standing. Mikoto was clearly exhausted since she had not been in a battle for nearly 15 years now. And Fugaku, he was just being overpowered by the enemy. Give it up, Fugaku heard. There's no way out of this one for you. Danzo, I should have known this was your doing from the beginning. Fugaku roared at the old man. Still, if this is all you could do, I wonder how you made it to clan head. Goodbye, Fugaku, Danzo said, and then two Anbu appeared behind Mikoto and Fugaku landed a final hit on them. Fugaku and Mikoto died within seconds after Danzo and his men retreated. Within the Hokage Tower, Minato rested after having just finished all his paperwork for the day. Man, where's Fugaku? He said he'd be back before sundown and was already long past Minato, then shivered. Something's not right. Sensei Kakashi appeared. What's the matter? Something horrible happened, Kakashi said and led Minato out of the office. Minato and Kakashi reached Nakano Shrine and noticed about 37 corpses lying all over the area, among them were Fugaku and Mikoto, as well as several other Uchiha. Who could have done something like this? Minato asked, though deep within his mind he had a strong guess of who. This way of assassination is the same way Itachi has. Kakashi said, inspecting one of the corpses. No, there's no way he could do something like this. Minato said, pushing that possibility out of the way. Kakashi and Minato called for a medical unit and they cleared Nakano Shrine of the corpses. Medics and other ninjas examined the dead, trying to figure out who did such a thing. Right on the next day, Itachi showed up at Minato's office. Lord Fourth, Itachi said and lowered his head respectfully. Itachi, is there something you need to talk to me about? Minato asked. It's about the mission you talked about. Itachi asked. Oh, that. I was wondering what this was about. Also, this is good timing. I also have something I must inform you about. You go first, sir. Well, something horrible happened last night. Only few people know of it as of right now, but I wouldn't doubt the news spreading by tomorrow at the earliest. Someone attacked the Nakano Shrine. About 40 people were found dead there, and among them were your parents. Upon hearing Minato's words, Itachi's face paled and his eyes went wide with shock. What? You mean, yeah, they, as well as everyone in that incident, were assassinated for an unknown purpose. And whoever did it intends to put the blame on you. Everyone seems to have been killed in a way you would do it. Kakashi and a few other ninjas in the T&I group came to the same conclusion. Of course, Kakashi and myself believe in your innocence, but that doesn't mean others believe the same. Itachi's eyes started watering and soon enough tears began to flow. Once Itachi opened his eyes, they were in their Sharingan state, and not just the Sharingan, but the Manjikyu Sharingan. First Shisui and now my parents. I know who did this, but I can't prove their guilt. Itachi said. I believe we're both onto the same person. But I don't have any proof either. Minato said and then looked Itachi in the eyes. Itachi, having heard this information. Are you sure you want to take this mission? Yeah. Itachi replied and wiped his eyes clean from the tears. Now Itachi. Why is it that you want to take this mission rather than let someone else take it? Throughout the years I've been a part of the Anbu, I've gone through several medical examinations. Many different doctors too. I don't have too long to live, every doctor says that I may have about 10 years. I want to be of use to the Leaf as much as I can during that time. Itachi explained. I see, but knowing about what happened to your parents you'd be leaving Sasuke alone. Minato explained I was planning to take both you and Sasuke into my house until you two felt ready to live alone again. But if you take this mission you will not be able to even meet him. I've made my decision, I know that at least he'll be in good hands by staying with you. Itachi answered. I see. I'll honor your decision and accept you as the person for this mission. Minato said and placed a barrier on the room and then pulled the mission slip from the drawer. This mission is far beyond a suicide mission. In this mission you will have to infiltrate a criminal organization called Akatsuki. This group is made up of S-ranked criminals and they've been doing many shady things as of late. Your mission is to join them and report back to me any vital information. I will take full responsibility for any crime you commit. No, I'll take the burden with me, no matter how grave the crime or doing. I'll do it and take it with me to my grave, Itachi said with a face that clearly showed he was ready for anything. I see. You'll more than likely be branded a criminal due to this mission and thus you'll be a rogue ninja. If you're detected into the village barrier you're more than likely to be captured and maybe even killed on the spot. Here, this is the barrier's formula, you can enter and exit the village as many times as you want with this. Thank you. Itachi said and took the scroll. Itachi, what about Sasuke? I'm sure he'll surely believe you as the criminal. Minato asked. Let him think so. The Uchiha gain power from hatred, or so it has been said for generations. If Sasuke comes to hate me, he'll become stronger. But in truth he'll only know of a false strength and that's when I'll tell him the true secret of strength. Itachi replied. I see, in that case. You can leave Sasuke's well-being in my hands. And Itachi, sorry for putting you through this. Minato said. It's okay. And don't try to lift the guilt from me about my parents. I'm sure that'll make joining this Akatsuki group more believable. Understood. Good luck. Right, as Minato finished these words Itachi vanished. The next day everyone in the village started spreading the word about Itachi's doing and the one hit the hardest was none other than Sasuke. Sasuke, Naruto whispered as he noticed his best friend curled up in a ball while leaning on a tree and crying. I won't forgive him. I'll avenge my parents and make him apologize to them. I'll defeat him even if it means killing him, Sasuke said and raised his face to the sky as tears flowed down his face. Sasuke's eyes had awakened a new power. They were not the standard dark eyes he normally bore, but red. Crimson red in fact, and in his right eye there was a Tomo, the sign of the Sharingan. Sasuke, your eyes, Naruto whispered and saw his friend in amazement. Normal morning in Konoha, people going about their business shopping for ingredients for lunch or other meals, children going to the Shinobi Academy for classes, and other shinobi doing their daily routines, from patrolling to buying equipment for future missions. Everyone was enjoying the quiet of the village's morning. Come back here. Or at least for the most part. You guys really think you can catch me? Let's face it, if you could, you would have caught me a while ago. A young 13-year-old boy with blonde hair said as he ran away from some ninja chasing him. The young man carried on his hands painting equipment, but he was clearly not a painter, especially carrying that kind of painting equipment. Naruto? You went too far this time painting all over the Hokage faces. One of the two ninja following Naruto said. Come on, I left Pops alone didn't I? Naruto yelled back arguing in his defense, which wouldn't help. The shinobi started catching up to Naruto and suddenly he vanished. Darn it, he got away, one of the ninjas said and went on to look for him. After the two ninja left, a fence started moving and from said fence Naruto emerged. I'm glad I set this hiding spot beforehand, Naruto said. Still rather predictable though. Naruto heard and when he turned his head he found his academy homeroom teacher. Iruka-sensei, what brings you here huh? Naruto asked, as if he had just met him in the middle of the street which he did. What do you think you're skipping class? Iruka yelled, and before Naruto knew it he was constricted with rope and Iruka was dragging him back to class. I swear, skipping class to go vandalize the Hokage monument. I sometimes wonder what you think before doing something like this. After a few minutes Iruka and Naruto got to the academy and to Iruka's classroom. Everyone in the class was talking among themselves and, as soon as Iruka opened the door everyone went quiet and took their seats. Alright everyone, I hope you're all ready for sparring practice today. Iruka said and everyone in class started cheering. Is what I'd like to say, but thanks to a certain someone we'll be cancelling that lesson and go straight for the final exam review. Everyone in class groaned and Naruto was released from his bindings and allowed to go to his seat. What did you do this time? Sasuke asked. Shut up. Naruto replied and just took his seat. Alright everyone, we'll be starting off with transformation. Come to the front of the class and show me what you can do as I call your name. Iruka said and started calling students according to the class roster. Uruno Sakura, Iruka called. Right. A girl with pink hair stood from her seat and made her way to the front of the class. "You go girl, I'm sure you can do it." Naruto encouraged the girl. "Quiet man," Sasuke said, hushing Naruto. "Come on man, it is Sakura we're talking about." "You know, I think I might make my move at some point soon." Naruto replied. "Good luck then. Just keep me out of this." "Alright then, first use the transformation jutsu," Haruka instructed. Sakura weaved a few hand signs and then there was a spoof of smoke. When the smoke cleared a second, Haruka came into view of the whole class. "Transforming into me, huh? That seems pretty well done. If I didn't know better I'd think I was looking at a mirror." Haruka jokes. "Now, how about we check your clone?" Sakura again weaved a few hand signs and then a second Sakura appeared standing next to her. "Well done. Keep this up and you'll pass the finals with flying colors," Haruka said and allowed Sakura back to her seat. The whole way Sakura looked in Naruto's direction, discreetly, but in his direction nonetheless. "Hey man, I think she was looking at me," Naruto said, nudging Sasuke who sat to his left. "Maybe," Sasuke said and just kept staring out the window. Student after student, the list was nearing the end. "Uchiha Sasuke," Haruka called and Sasuke went to the front of the class. As soon as he reached his designated spot he poofed into smoke and then a second Haruka stood in front of the class like earlier. "I see you're already ahead of the game. Well done. Now let's see your clone jutsu." Right after Haruka finished talking, Sasuke turned to normal and then a second Sasuke appeared next to him. Again, "Well done. I think this is obvious to hear, but surely you'll pass tomorrow," Haruka said. "Last, but hopefully not least, Uzumaki Naruto," Haruka called and the young blonde walked to the front of the class. "Here it goes," Naruto yelled and made a quick hand sign that engulfed him in smoke. When the smoke cleared, a girl with a stunning figure and the name blonde hair as the young Uzumaki, but long and held up in twin tails. This girl was not wearing a single piece of clothing and was standing in a provocative position. What Haruka yelled as blood started flowing down his nose. "Ahaha. You fell for it. How do you like my sexy jutsu?" Naruto called and then got whacked on the back of the head by Haruka. "Could you take this seriously for once?" Haruka yelled, infuriated. "Everyone in the village is amazed that your father is Lord Fourth and your personality is completely different from his. You can't seem to take anything seriously." Yeah. I get that all the time. But what's the problem with pulling a couple jokes on people?" Naruto argued. "Whatever, just use the clone and get this done with," Haruka called and Naruto started weaving the hand signs. Naruto started concentrating and then he opened his eyes and unleashed the jutsu. Next to Naruto stood a half-dead clone of himself. The clone couldn't even stand and in fact had pale skin to the point that a zombie would look tanned in comparison. Everyone in class started laughing and soon enough Haruka started his sermon about chakra control. Once Haruka finished, school was released and everyone was allowed to go home. "I can't believe this, man. First I get caught in the morning and then I look like a fool in front of everyone in class and not just anyone, but Sakura," Naruto whined. "Well, maybe you should stop acting so rambunctious. You should probably tone that attitude down a bit more," Sasuke replied. Naruto. The two heard from the academy's entrance. Haruka stood at the door. "I talked to your father about your actions today. He said you should clean the monument before going home." "Fine. See you later, Sasuke," Naruto said and started his way to the Hokage monument. Later that day, Minato was finishing up his paperwork for the day. "So then, how's he looking?" Minato asked, sitting in his office and seeing Kakashi standing at the window. "He's almost done. I still can't believe he finished so much graffiti in so little time," Kakashi replied. "He is a natural memory," Minato replied. "I think I should finish up and pick him up. Do you mind telling Sasuke, Naruto, and I that we are going to Ichiraku's and he should join us if he wants to?" "Will do. Have a good night, sensei," Kakashi said and vanished. "Oh, Naruto. I guess you're more like your mom than anyone could think," Minato said with a smile on his face and then walked out of his office after putting away his things. Minato, Naruto, and Sasuke met up at Ichiraku's and had a good conversation over a couple bowls of ramen. When they finished they all walked home together and soon after entering the house he locked the door and changed his tone of voice. "Naruto, Sasuke, there's something I'd like to talk to you two about," Minato said and took a seat on a recliner. "What is pops?" Naruto asked and sat down on the couch. "Is it something about the finals this week?" Sasuke asked, standing behind the couch Naruto was sitting on. "Kinda, you see. Many of the teachers as well as ninja within the village have had suspicions of someone being a traitor. This someone is a teacher in the academy, his name is Mizuki. I was wondering if you two would like to help me lure this man out," Minato asked. "I know him, he seems pretty fishy to me too," Sasuke said. "Why us?" Naruto asked. "Do you think we can take him?" Sasuke asked. "You two have been learning from me for a while. I've taught you some techniques that take most ninja a decade to master. Besides, with the finals day I'm sure you two can lure him out. Minato asked. What? Both teens asked. I heard from Iruka that you can't exactly perform the clone properly. I have the feeling that if you fail the finals he'll try to help you and get what he wants. The info on this man is that he wants a scroll written by Lord Second. In this scroll there are all sorts of techniques and the clone is one among them. He might try to get you to get the scroll for him. Minato explained. And when his guard is down we take him down and turn him to the authorities. Sasuke asked. I like it when the people I talk to understand me. Minato said. So that means we can go all out? Naruto asked. Sure. Just make sure you can talk afterwards. We want to find out what his motive is. Minato said. Alright. Naruto yelled and started jumping. A few days later, the day for the finals came for training children to become genin. You know the signal, right? Sasuke asked Naruto to bypass him. Leave it to me, Naruto replied quickly, and the two went separate ways in the classroom. The test went by, as planned. The saddest part of all this was that Naruto failing to succeed on the clone summoning was also part of the test. Not to say he didn't try, because he did, but it hit him pretty hard. Naruto pouted as he noticed everyone received their headbands, the sign of having passed the final test and becoming a true shinobi. You didn't pass, huh? Naruto heard from behind him. This is the guy, huh? Naruto said to himself and then turned his head. Who are you? My name is Mizuki, I'm just one more teacher here. You know, I can help you pass the test, but I need you to get me a scroll so I can teach you properly. Mizuki said. Really? Naruto asked. Sure thing. The scroll is near the back of the Hokage archives. I'm sure you'll know which one it is. Just grab it and bring it to me. I'll teach you from there. Mizuki said and walked off after handing Naruto a paper with a rendezvous location. Got you, Naruto said and quickly went to his dad's office. Sasuke was already there and so they began planning. I see, so he really is after the second scroll. Naruto, take this decoy scroll and lure him out. Sasuke will wait for your signal and you two can constrict him. If for some reason Sasuke didn't pass the test either, I was planning to make this your final test since it's technically a mission and all. Minato said. Alright. Then we act out once dusk breaks. Sasuke said and Naruto nodded agreeing. The sun started setting and Naruto began his move. He quickly moved from building to building until he reached the planned rendezvous location with Mizuki, a forest near the edge of the village. I see you got it. Mizuki said and stretched his hand out. Here you go. Naruto said and handed the fake scroll to Mizuki. Mizuki opened the scroll to find nothing in it. Right away he knew it was a trap to try to lure him out. So, what now? Are you going to stop me now? He asked with a highly cocky tone and unhooked one of the two oversized shuriken on his back. Now that you know of me, I can't let you get out of here. Mizuki said and rushed Naruto. Now? Naruto thought and threw a kunai that landed right in front of Mizuki. Right after he passed, kunai Mizuki got kicked to the ground. What? He said he had backup. That took longer than expected. Sasuke said and landed on the ground safely. Mizuki quickly got up and spun with the shuriken in his hand, trying to get Sasuke in the aftermath. Sasuke here. Naruto said and tossed a kunai straight up. Sasuke vanished and caught the kunai Naruto tossed up. After waiting for just the right moment Sasuke threw the kunai and it knocked the huge shuriken off Mizuki's hand. Naruto then vanished and appeared over the kunai spinning and kicked Mizuki on the face. But they're moving too fast for mere genin leveled kids. Mizuki said and got his second shuriken ready for battle. Raijin, Naruto said. Co-op. Sasuke finished and then the two appeared on the tree branch over Mizuki. What did they say? Haration. Mizuki said to himself. Let's end this. Sasuke said and rushed in. Mizuki figured that from their location they would use a dive tactic, so he caught them off guard and pinned Sasuke down on the ground and constricted him by placing the oversized shuriken around his neck as well as his arms with other shuriken that only God knows where he was keeping. Sasuke. Naruto said and dropped from his branch. Hold it. Mizuki said one step and the Uchiha is done. You bastard, Naruto growled at the silvered-haired man. You think you can stop us this easily? Sasuke said and vanished from his constriction and next to Naruto. How is it Mizuki started? They must have seals placed on each other in case of emergency. You okay? Naruto asked. I think he may have broken a rib or two, Sasuke said, holding his side. This does it. Naruto said and made a hand sign that formed a cross in front of himself. Multi-shadow clone jutsu. Naruto made a whole battalion of clones and they were surrounding Mizuki. How you can't even materialize one, Mizuki said. I have trouble using low levels of chakra. If I use high amounts of chakra I can do just about anything, Naruto said, and then all the clones attacked the silver-haired man at the same time. After about 5 minutes of struggling, Mizuki was defeated and Naruto and Sasuke took a moment before turning him in. Naruto? Sasuke. The two teens heard and then Iruka came into view. Are you two okay? Yeah, though Sasuke here may have a couple broken ribs. Naruto said, it's still just a maybe. Sasuke replied, you two defeated Mizuki? Iruka said, of course we did. Who do you think we are? Naruto asked. Naruto, I talked to your father and he told me about this. I can't believe you were able to do something of this magnitude. If anyone is to be awarded the title of Genin is you. Here, Iruka said and handed Naruto his headband. Sensei, are you serious? Naruto asked. Take it. Iruka said and then Naruto gave him a hug. Alright. I'm a true ninja now, Naruto cheered after putting on Iruka's headband. Sasuke was taken to the hospital and after a couple hours of medical ninja treatment he was up and running again without a problem. Mizuki was interrogated and since they couldn't get answers out of him, he was sent to prison. Naruto and Sasuke were now both genin and ready for new adventures. Now who should I have, as their teacher Minato said, as he thought carefully within his office. After a few minutes he made a couple hand signs and out came a small frog. Hey Minato. What can I do for ya? The frog asked in a voice that clearly showed it was older than most would think. Can you ask him to come here at once? Minato replied. See. Stat time, huh? Alright, I'll see you around. The frog replied and vanished into a smoke cloud. After a few minutes Kakashi appeared in the room dressed in his standard Anbu attire. Sensei. Did you call? He asked and stood in the middle of the room. Kakashi, great timing. How would you like another try at being a teacher? Minato asked with a bright smile on his face. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.